Sorry about the delay getting this video posted. I've been at the hospital all week seeing my lobotomist. Last time, the front half of the superstructure went on. This time, we do the back half, which is the same thing, except I'm more tired and my wife has left me. For anyone just joining, this is a working 11-foot-long RC battleship I'm building because it's smaller. Well, the real reason is my naval power is lacking. I started back in CAD, modeling the rear superstructure. CAD is where I go to feel powerful, because it's the only place where I can spin around a model for 4 hours and get nothing done. I sat down at the computer, opened the file, and stared at the back half of a battleship for a couple minutes. Then I decided to take a break and watch TikTok for a few hours. Eventually, I got to work. I started by stealing the ship files out of a game that still won't sponsor me. I bring the stolen goods into CAD, trace over them like I came up with it myself, and extrude the sketches into the final design. The entire ship is built on a foundation of crime, and I think that reflects well on my character. Then I copy the turret-based geometry from the front superstructure and boolean it into the rear superstructure. Why reinvent it? The front turret already works, so I just stamp the same hole in the back. This is the one time in the entire build where I work smarter, as opposed to working harder. Now I'm just cleaning up the mess I made preparing for the turret hole, and that's looking like a nice hole so far. Continuing on with the rest of the superstructure, I keep extruding nonsensical shapes until I get the desired result. Each one starts as a meaningless rectangle, and through a rigorous engineering process I like to call guessing, it slowly becomes a superstructure. A bump here, a block there, a mysterious protrusion I'll later claim was intentional. None of it makes sense in isolation. Somehow, all of it together becomes a battleship, which I think is just the big guy looking out for me. I cleaned up the edges so it would sit on the hull nicely. There weren't any opportunities for heat set inserts here, which I took personally. I add heat set inserts everywhere, as they are the only relationship in my life with reliable, repeatable outcomes. You melt the heat set insert into the part and you get PLA fumes. The PLA fumes do not get up and move 2 houses down like my wife. Then I cut the rear superstructure into pieces small enough to fit on my printer. I started clearing out space by making a single part I can Boolean subtract out of everything, which is faster than hollowing each piece by hand. Then I added fillets to smooth out the corners because sharp edges crack and round edges don't. And I've had enough ofs crack this year. I added some wiring holes for the rear lamps. Then if I remember not to forget, I can add some LED lamps later on. Finally, I added a little internal shelf for absolutely no reason, just so I'd have company in there. But enough about me. I think it's time to heat up the printers and get these parts made. Now that those are done, strangely some of these came out black, like my firstborn son. Oh yes, I ran out of gray filament because my wife took half of everything I own and I don't have enough funds to replace them. Please subscribe, I need all the helps I can get. Then once again, I tolerate my friend's cyanoacrylate. Section by section it came together, all 6 pieces in 2 of my fingers. Cyanoacrylate is the only thing left in this house that bonds with me. And even it does it against my will and at the worst possible moment. Superglue and I are definitely past the honeymoon phase. It used to be exciting. Instant bonds, strong holds. I could really see a real future. Now there's so much space between us and no amount of glue could fix this now. Now we have both superstructure segments assembled. The rear superstructure fits perfectly. First try, after about an hour of sanding and cleanup off camera. Now let's add turret C and its rangefinders. And finally we get to turret D, first placing down its base and then assembling. Now you may be wondering why she's got balls. Well, it's 'cause it's 2026 And I got to give equal rights now. Okay, enough kidding around. These are actually rangefinders, used to clock the ops so we can lock in and successfully lob city buses at them with speeds approaching Mach 1. No cap on God, bro. I then painstakingly modeled a retaining cone for the water cooling lines. As you can see, the lines just snap in and hold like magic. Absolute cinema. I surface my prep and I prep the surface for gluing. Then I once again work with my old pal cyanoacrylate, again adding roughly half a pound of glue to make sure these are secure. Then I proceed to add even more glue just to be safety. I keep adding more and more sections, really for no reason. But it's addicting, and at the time I couldn't think of a reason to stop. Unfortunately, my addictive tendencies is what started me down this path, and to my wife leaving me. At this point, I think I've waited long enough. I think the ship is ready to go back for some more swimming lessons.